Hello students and welcome to another ES for Business and Life video. Today we're going to be covering Unit 2 for our Market Leader Pre-Intermediate book, and we will be covering the grammar. Let's begin. And today we'll talk about general information. For example, our company produces home appliances. Our company produces home appliances. Also, habits. Our team leader normally sends all reports on Saturdays. Our team leader normally sends all reports on Saturdays. Future arrangements. We're having the meeting in 20 minutes. We are having the meeting in 20 minutes. Temporary present. I'm currently covering for Carlos while he's in India. I'm currently covering for Carlos while he's in India. Let's start explaining all these items. Okay, for the first two, which are habits and general information or facts, remember that a fact is something real, something that has been proved, or scientific facts as well. And habit is something that we normally do because we like it or because we have the tendency to do it. Alright, in habits we have three examples. We're going to analyze them and we're going to explain why they are habits in the first place. We have three examples here. Number one, Carlos never shows up on time on Saturdays. Example number two, they shut down all systems at 11. Example number three, do you always file reports at this time? Alright, let's analyze. We'll see we have a subject. Yes, we do. We have Carlos, they, and you in the third one. Do we have a verb? Yes, we have shows up, we have shut down, and we have file. Remember that the verb changes depending if we're talking about he, she, or it. In this case, Carlos. Don't forget that the S is very important and necessary in affirmative. Do we have a time expression? Sorry, a complement. Yes, on time on Saturdays. All systems at 11 and reports at this time. I forgot to write verb. Yeah. And our complement as well. Complement there. All right. How do we know that all these are habits? How do we know? Very simple. Well, normally when we talk about habits, we want to talk about the frequency. Normally we mention the frequency. This is done. And for example, we have the word never in the first one. And we have always in the third one. And this indicates that this showing up on time on Saturdays and filing reports at 11 are habits. In the second one, we do not have a frequency adverb, but we have a time, indicating that this person, these people, in this case they, it could be the IT person in charge, or the company itself, shuts down at 11. Now, the second one is general information. So we have three examples. Example number one, I work for the IT department. Example number two, she doesn't live far from the office. Example number three, what kind of service does your company provide? Let's see and analyze this. Don't forget that all sentences and questions require a subject. In this case, I, she, and your company. Okay. And we have a verb. Yes. Remember, if it's I, we, you, and they, the verb is in simple form. If we have a he, she, it, and it's negative, the verb is also in simple form. And if we have the auxiliary does, like for example here, or doesn't, the verb will always be in the simple form. And this is, don't forget, this is also a verb. All right. How do we know that this is general information only? Well, in example number 1, we're saying that I am part of the IT department. The IT. This is something that is not. We're not asking the question. We're saying that we are part of it. So it's a fact. It's real. It's not an invention. Number 2, she doesn't live far from the office. Live meaning that her house is nearby the office. It's close to the office. So this is also a fact. General information about this girl. And we're in number 3. We're asking for what. What we want information. General information. What kind of service does your company provide? And it could be software. It can be any kind of service that a company can provide. Sorry, I can't remember one right now. But yeah, let's move on. Now the next concepts are present continuous. That's it, grammar, present continuous. And we can use present continuous for not only to talk about an action now or an action happening at this moment. We can also use present continuous for future arrangements and temporary present. And we will give some examples of how we do this. Okay, so for future arrangements, we have 3 examples. Example number 1, we are moving to a bigger building. Example number 2, they're not promoting me until next year. Example number 3, are you having an interview tomorrow? As you can see, all these ideas refer to the future. The idea number 1, we have moving to a bigger building. So right now we are in a different building, but in the future we are going to be, or we will be, in a different building. In example number 1, not promoting me until next year. So right now, at this moment, I don't have a promotion, but this promoting me until next year will be in the future, is going to be in the future. In example number 3, are you having an interview tomorrow? Okay, so right now I'm not having the interview, but in the future, in the near future, I will be having the interview, or I will have the interview, or I am going to have the interview. Remember that, well, normally time expressions indicate such as tomorrow or next year indicate that the sentence is in the future, but not always. As you can see in example number 1, we don't have next year, tomorrow, etc. But the context gives us the clue. One thing not to forget, don't forget that when we express present continuous, we always need the verb to be. The auxiliary to be is always necessary. And also, don't also forget that all the verbs require the ing ending. Let's move on. Now we have temporary present. We have 3 examples. Example number 1, he's studying English to be promoted. Example number 2, we're not working until the strike is called off. Example number 3, what are you currently doing after 5? What are you currently doing after 5? Temporary present is about something that we are not doing exactly at this time, but it's part of our reality, part of our life for the time being, for now, just for days, months, maybe years, but it's not something permanent, something that is not permanent. In example number 1, studying English is the idea, but this is not permanent. In the future, I am going to be studying German or French, etc. Number 2, not working. This is not permanent. This is something that is happening now because there's a situation that is stopping us from doing what we have to do. In example number 3, the request is doing after 5. Currently, the expression currently indicates that it's not permanent, that it's something that is just for now. Let's hope that if it's not clear, please refer to your teacher in class. And one thing, once again, do not forget that verb to be. The auxiliary to be needs to be present when we use the present continuous, and that ing ending as well. Here, I made a little mistake. All right. Okay, well, before saying thank you, let's go back a little bit. Once again, we saw Unit 2 for our Market Leader pre-intermediate book, and we covered the grammar of the day. Today, we talked about 4 very important things, which are general information, habits, future arrangements, using the present continuous, and temporary present, also using the present continuous. Simple present is for both 2 things, habits and general information. Present continuous is for future arrangements and temporary present. And don't forget that the auxiliary to be is required in continuous tenses. One more thing, don't forget that S when expressing, when using the third person. And what else are we skipping? I think that would be it. Well, don't forget one last thing before saying thank you once again. Let me add one here. Yeah. Here. One more thing, that remember that context is very important. Context is very important because it indicates whether we're talking about now, or whether we're talking about the future, or we're talking about specific situation. Yeah, so always pay attention to the complete idea, not only the verb and the subject. Okay, well, now we can say thank you. Thank you very much for watching. Please watch these videos if it's necessary, as many times as you see fit. And remember one thing, English is the language of business. It is very important that you master this language in order for you to success in the business world. Thank you very much. See you on our next video.